Hi, this is Denise Matthew. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to pop in and just do a quick blurb on what's happening with the planets, human design transits, and that type of thing. A few things have happened. The nodes have changed, and Mars is retrograde, which I did a video about that already. You can check that out if you want to have a look. But Mercury is also retrograde right now, too. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the energy. So let's get started on that. Let's talk about what's happening with Mercury. Now, as of today, Mercury is in the gate 28. Now, just to preface this, I just want to tell everybody, there's been a few people asking about when my cards are going to be ready. Things had slowed down, but now it's picked up again. I've got a new printer that I'm working with, but it does take time to get everything the way I want it to look and that type of thing. But basically what you see, these kind of cards, is what we're going to have. And as soon as that's ready, I will let you know. But I'm going to talk with the cards because symbolism is there, so it's easier for me to explain what the energy of the planets are doing. So if we look at Mercury, we see today and on to the 25th. And because Mercury is retrograde, or it's perceived to be going backwards, so in other words, right now it's a lot of it's about revising, revamping, renewing, looking at things that we have already done or that we've started in a new way. So we might pick up some things that we've done or already started and see how they work and that type of thing. When we talk about Mercury, we talk about communication, we talk about all the things that the media, we talk about anything that's having to do with communicating with other people. Now, the thing about Mercury is they also oftentimes say can be the planet of the trickster. So in other words, it can sort of change things up and twist the words they want to. Now, when we talk about Mercury being in the gate 28, the gate 28 a lot of times is called struggle, but because I think that struggle is kind of a hard word to get your mind around, there is this idea that anybody who does have the gate 28 in their body graph will usually be the type of person that as soon as you want to give them a challenge, they're willing and able to push through that challenge. And as soon as somebody says they can do something, they want to make sure that it's possible. So if we look at the image, we see that there's a flower that seems to be growing inside a glass container, and we don't think that that's possible, but we actually can see it with our eyes, so it does look like it's possible. So in other words, it's pushing through those things that are obstacles, those things that slow us down, and believing that even though it may be difficult, we can push through, and we can have those in Mercury, we can have those difficult conversations. It could be something like that. We could have those difficult communications. This could be just trying to get your point across. This could be persevering. This could be just pushing through and not allowing yourself to be stopped. But again, we also have to remember, because we're in retrograde, it is going back over the communications, revising, looking at the things that we did before. Again, this is the gate of struggle. Now, if we're looking at it from the fear gates, because all the fear gates, this is one of the fear gates of the spleen. And so we talk about the gate 28, this could be the fear of death. And right now in the climate that we're living in, could be this potential communication of people sort of threatening other people that if you don't do this, it could, it could cause an issue for you. And with COVID being as it is, across the world, basically it could be this concept that you're scared for your own well-being, being in that type of thing, or there might be propaganda that is making people fearful for their own lives. And I think that you have to remember that because Mercury is a trickster, it doesn't always mean that it is exactly as it's being portrayed. So that's what we kind of have to look at when we're thinking about this energy. Now, when we go to the 26th of October and onwards, and if you notice, because it's retrograde, it's coming back in November after it goes through in October. So a longer duration in each of these particular gates. And also, because Mercury is usually pretty fast, it would go through these gates pretty fast normally, but because of the retrograde, like I said, it's going back and forth a few times. And so this energy is going to be stronger. And there's an astrologer named Rick Levine. He talks about when planets are in retrograde, they're going slower, so they give a more powerful effect. And I actually think that that's probably a really smart way to look at any kind of retrograde, and especially right now, Mercury. So we talk about the gate 50, we're talking about responsibility. And we see that we have these two deers. We have a father deer or a buck, and we have a baby deer or a fawn. And the thing about this gate, we're talking about responsibility. But then, if we know that a deer has a responsibility to its fawn, we know that it's going to take care of its fawn, it's going to protect its fawn, and there is nothing more vicious than an animal that's protecting its young. And we know that that's the case. When we talk about the gate 50, this is another fear gate. This is a gate that talks about, are we going to let down our loved ones? This whole idea of, I want to make sure that my loved ones are all right, to the point where it can be almost to where you're obsessed about it, and there's a lot of anxiety. Can I protect my people? And so if somebody's telling you, oh, this is the only way you can protect your family, you might be more inclined to listen to that, because you do have a lot invested in your family. And so this is the energy that we have to look at. The gate 50 can also be a rebel, somebody who's pushing against the rules. Now, they can be a rebel for their own cause, or they can be a rebel for the greater cause, or for the right causes. So in other words, they could be rebellious and break the law because they're thinking, oh yeah, well, this is how it's got to be. And so it's really about which one is it? Is it that your responsibility is going to, take a step back, have a clear mind, and understand that because someone is saying something doesn't mean it's true unless you have actually believed it, unless you have decided that it's true, you've done your research. And if someone is fear mongering, check it out, see if it's correct. Is this right? Is this just propaganda? Or is it something that I actually should be careful about? So that's the kind of energy you want to look at with the gate 50. So the last bit of Mercury retrograde will go retrograde in the gate 32, and then it will start to move forward on November 3rd. That is the day of the US election. And so it's interesting that this energy is actually going to change, and that a lot of people have been talking about this energy, or the energy of Mercury going direct on November 3rd, which probably means that there might be not a clear decision on who is going to win the election based on Mercury sort of kind of coming and going, you might say. But when we look at the gate 32, we see that there's two rabbits. Now, the thing about rabbits are they're all about endurance. They can survive in a lot of ways. They can use their teeth to, of course, eat. They have long legs to get away. There's a lot of things. They can change their fur so that they can blend into the surroundings better. Basically, their whole mission in life, as most animals, is to reproduce, to get more, to have more of their family, to get more babies, to continue to move on. And that really is the energy of the gate 32. It is about, when we talk about the gate 32, we're talking about a material energy. We're talking about another fear gate. We're talking about this idea for big plans, big business plans, and possibly this query that, can these big business plans come true? Or these big plans or these big ideas for getting ahead in life, can that happen? That's the energy that we're talking about. Is your big dreams and ideas, are they going to be able to manifest? Is there a fear that they won't be able to manifest? So if you look at the energy that we're going through in a fair bit of November and October, it's all about the fear energy. And so if we think about the 32 is, are your big dreams going to never manifest? Are you always going to be the same? Are you going to have enough to eat? So because this is a whole concept with this energy, it is tribal energy. It's the energy of the family and protecting your tribe. And in this way, it's all about, material resources, abundance, that type of thing. And then there's this other perspective of greed that you can get to. You need more, or this concept that people are going to take what you have. So there could be that's the fear. Is someone going to come in and take what I have? And so that's the energy that we're working with as well. I've already talked about the other gates, and if you notice, the gate 50 is going to go until the 12th, and then we have the gate 28. So again, we're going to go back to those fears. Again, a lot of fear sticking around for a lot of, October and November. So I guess the key here is to not buy into the fear, not to allow it to take you away, and understand that any of these fears are usually something that we blow up in our minds, or propaganda or media can blow these things up in our minds, and we can start to have this anxiety about these fears. But to step back, take a step back, shut down the news if you need to, shut down all the propaganda, and look at your own life and see what's real in your life as opposed to what people are telling you. And that is always going to be the best way to handle this type of energy. Now, if we look at the gate 44, now we have Mercury going direct, and that was with the gate 28, the gate 50, and now it's still direct, and we have the gate 44, one more fear gate. The gate 44 is all about patterns repeating. Now, if we see a dog, there's two different things with this. A dog will remember patterns. So in other words, if you have a dog and you go to work and every day you come home at 4, that dog knows that you're going to come home at 4 because that's your pattern. They're very good at patterns. They're very good at scenting things. They can smell things that people can't. They can smell even cancer in people. I mean, that's how acute their senses are. And so if you have this energy in your body graph, your sense of smell can be very, very acute. But it also means that you can smell when things are not right. So the thing about the gate 44, what is the fear of the gate 44? What is the fear that you're going to talk about? Oh, the pattern is going to repeat. What is that pattern? Was it a negative pattern? Was it a negative pattern in your relationship? Was it a negative pattern in your life, your job, something like that? So there's this anxiety. Oh, is it going to be just like it happened before? And the question might be, what is this repeat pattern that might be showing up at this particular point? And so you might be able to see something that shows up in your life or on the world stage. But again, with these fears, stand back. Does this really affect you? Is this something that you really need to be scared of? Or is it something that is being blown out of proportion? And in the real world, in your world, everything is better than it is perceived to be based on what other people are saying. I'm just going to go through the whole of November, and Mercury goes into, again, we're still direct. Mercury goes into the gate 1. This is create. So we've had a lot of fear. We've had a lot of anxiety from October to most of November. And now we're moving on to something different. What can I bring into this world? What can I bring in with my individuality? Let's talk about creating something new. And this is the energy that we might be hearing. What do we want to get out there that's new, that's mutative, that's never been done before? How can we create our new future? Right? So then we wonder, are things looking a little bit brighter? And based on the transits, there's potential for it to be looking brighter. I mean, I think 2020 it's been a roller coaster. And I think that, eventually, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but can we see a light at the end of the tunnel? And when we look at the create, we can see this woman, and she's looking into sort of an illusion. And there's something there she wants to bring into the real world. And it's something that is for the people. It isn't just for her, but she runs on her own inner being, her inner creativity, her individuality. She wants to express herself, but not only does she want to express herself, she wants to express herself in a way that people can use or be inspired, but by what she brings into the collective. So this is what the energy of create is going to, it can potentially bring out. And then again, if we tie it back to Mercury, it's all about what is Mercury talking about? The communication, the propaganda, or the media, or the information that's coming out there. And then we go on to November 25th. And if you notice, Mercury's staying shorter periods of time in each gate, because now we have Mercury starting to speed up, because it's out of retrograde and it's actually going at the clip it's meant to go. Now, when we look at this, we look at ahead. And the gate 43 is all about sort of these far-reaching, innovative ideas of future things that maybe nobody's ever thought about. So there's potential for these really life-changing ideas, but mutation as it is always going to be something that has never been done before. And and of course, because something's never been done before, there's always going to be some level of blowback. And this is energy that could be look very different. So are we bringing some brand new and innovative ways of being into the world, or hearing about it, brand new ways of being, brand new things? Now, if we look at the praying mantis, there's a couple of things to say about the praying mantis. One is that it is always looking ahead at its next movement. So for instance, martial arts, there's a martial arts, it is based on the moves of a praying mantis. A praying mantis holds still. It waits for the right time, so that when the right time comes, they can get their prey. They can get that thing that they want. They don't go too fast, because if they do, then their prey will know that they're there. But if they go too slow, they will miss out. And so it is something about right timing. When we bring these mutative ideas into our world, it has to be about right timing. because there's an elegance to this. It's like there's nothing more graceful than a praying mantis, the way they move, even when they're actually hunting. You don't know that they're hunting, but it's just that stillness that waits and knows that when the right timing is there, they grab what they need and they are satisfied. If you notice that things are sort of lightening up, we've had a lot of fear that we went through, and now we're moving to better energy. Now we get into the last of the month for November, and now we're talking about luck. So koi fish are considered to be lucky fish. Now, when we talk about the gate 14, we are talking about resources, abundance. This is not a tribal energy, though. This is an individual energy. So talks about bringing in good resources, natural luck. And so maybe we might have a lucky break at this time. Maybe things are going to shift and we will start to see something better than what we've seen all along. So we can hope for that. And let's see how that works out. There isn't really a downside to this energy, the energy of the gate 14. It is an energy that is mostly on the high side. One of the kind of interesting things about this energy is it is considered the basically just a high side. Ultimately, we're finishing off November on a higher note than we have had for a little bit, based on Mercury and what people are talking about and what people are saying. All the other planets are still there. They're still giving their energy, but this is the energy that is sort of more transient, and it might be a day-to-day type of energy. This is also knowing that you have resources, seeing talent in people, seeing where the best resources are, and understanding that you can use them for what you need to. So that is sort of the energy of Mercury. I'm going to touch on Mars. Mars has been going retrograde from September 10th, and it's going all the way till November 14th, and then it finally goes direct, so that we can have that energy. The thing about Mars is it's all about physical energy. It can be about aggression, it can be about anger, it can be about the good general, or it can be about the tyrant who's just trying to mow everybody down so they can get where they want to go. It's gone through a few different gates. We just came out of the gate 42, and that's really it's called the closer, and that's about it would have been finishing projects. So the thing about Mars is it went through the gate 53, which is about the beginning or initiating. And because 5342 channel is all about a cyclical kind of, it begins something and then it ends something. The 53 went through Mars went through the 53 on between, I think it was like June 6th to about June 10th, 2019. So any of the things that were happening in that particular time might have just closed up, or you might have had an ending that happened, an ending of a cycle. So now we had the ending of the cycle, and now we're moving into new energy. And the new energy is going to be the gate 51. And as I say, it goes for a long time, October 15th to December 14th. That is going to be like, you look at this card and you see shock, and that seems a little scary. I mean, you see a tornado, but if you notice, there's a rainbow behind the tornado. So in other words, what we're talking about when we're talking about this energy is it's initiating energy. They say it's half of the gate of the shaman. Half is the 51, which is the shocking event, and the 25 is the love of spirit. So something shocking pushes you into the love of spirit. And in regular terms, basically that's saying that life gives you some kind of a eye opener that says, okay, do you want to continue on the same path as where you're going now, or do you want something new? And this is the energy that we're working with until the middle of December. So do we want something new? What do you want? But as well, there is potential for some shocking things to happen. There is some potential to kind of just get taken aback by something that you never expected to happen. It doesn't have to be bad, but it could be something very sudden and something that just comes out of the blue. Now, this is, as I say, on the high side, this is always going to be about, how can I evolve? How can I get better? How can this energy show me a new path, a new me, something that I didn't see before that matters? And how can I shift out of where I was before? Does this shocking energy bring us out of the whirlwind that 2020 was? Possibly. Let's see. Is this a step in the right direction? But do we need to, think about if we're talking about shocking ways of aggression? But the thing about Mars when it's retrograde is that Mars acts differently. Mars is usually about aggression, but when we have it retrograde, we have people who potentially could blow up, who never usually do that, who usually hold it in, or they're not that type of person, and suddenly they'll just blow up out of nowhere, and you will never see it coming because it just kind of blows your mind. And there's other people who are always very aggressive, pushing their agenda, pushing forward, and they may be less aggressive. There could be a physical energy kind of depletion, not feeling like you have the energy. And with Mercury retrograde, we're in a position where until about the middle of November, we may not have the energy that we want to do those projects. And with this, the gate 51, again, this is returning to things that happened in the past, looking at old ways of interactions with people. And so the question might be, as of November 14th, when we get Mars starting to move forward again, is there going to be more of a push with this gate 51, this initiating energy, this call for change? What does change look like, and how is it going to affect me? And this change, again, is like a butterfly. It goes into its cocoon, it gets all wrapped up, and then it eventually comes out. And the process, is a complete transformation. And that's what we're looking at. And ultimately, let's see how that shows up, and let's have a look at the nodes really quick, because they did change, and I do like to talk about the karma of the nodes. And so if we look at the south node, we see that south node has moved into the gate 26, and that's now until 2021, I think, in January. So we have it for quite a while. We talk about the gate 26, we see an elephant and we see a bird on top of it. That's called a cattle-egret, the bird. And the cattle-egret basically takes off all the parasites or any insects that might trouble the elephant. So what it does is it's getting itself fed, but it's also helping the elephant. So the elephant is allowing the bird to be fed, but the elephant is getting benefit and the bird is getting benefit. And that's the whole energy of the greater good. So when we talk about the greater good, we have an ability to have good sales energy. We have an ability to smell a rat. So because it is connected to the 44, there's this ability to smell when something's not right, either smell a rat, or some people would call it a BS detector. You can hear when people are giving you BS, they're not telling you the truth. But again, this is sales energy. This is energy that can easily lie to people and say, oh, I'm going to give you everything, and you end up, this is where you get a car and you pay a good amount of money for it, you drive it home, and halfway there it breaks down, and they say, oh, well, it's null and void, you already did it, and that's your tough luck. So this is the energy of potentially the trickster. So this is about the greater good. Everybody benefits, or I benefit and other people don't. And because it's in the nodes of karma, because it's in the south node, this is the energy that's saying, okay, if you're going to make those kind of deals where you're only the one getting the benefit of it, you might get a little blowback on that. So that's something to keep in mind. And we might see people who are getting blowback on things that were, basically that they were peddling for themselves, but it wasn't for the best and highest of everybody. This is tribal energy. So that's something that we might see in the news. And the last one that I wanted to talk about was the North Node. And the North Node has moved into the Gate 45. The Gate 45 is the Regal energy. And this can also be the King and Queen. So we think about the Gate 45, we're looking at a peacock. Now, peacock has always been considered the bird of the royals, apparently, based on history. And it is quite beautiful. Some people say the eyes and the tail have a third eye, so they have an understanding of they can see things that other people can't see. But ultimately, when we talk about regal energy, we're talking about the energy of a ruler. And a ruler is taken care of by the people. The people take care of the ruler because they know that the ruler will take care of them. And what that means is that if you have to have the money, or you need to have food or something like that, the ruler will say, okay, everybody will get what they need, and we'll make sure that, whatever, I'm going to take care of my subjects, because I know that if I don't take care of my subjects, then I'm not being a good ruler. And, because that's my job. I have to make sacrifices for my subjects, because that's the job of a good ruler. But what if I decide as a ruler, or this regal person, that I'm just going to take, and I don't care about the people. It doesn't matter. let them do their own thing. But see, ultimately what we understand is that that's not the way of a true leader or a true regal leadership. Now, because this is leadership as well. I mean, it's a royal leadership in that basically when you have this energy, people just automatically assume that you are the leader type, and they'll put you to the front of the pack. This is a leadership that's usually given because you just have this way about you. It's an energetic that you give off. It's not because you're saying I want to lead. It's because people feel that you're a good leader based on this. But ultimately, if you're not doing the best for your people, then what's going to happen is there's going to be issues. And because, again, this is in the karmic node, we might see something show up where leaders or people aren't taking care of their subjects, and the subjects are saying, okay, you're not taking care of us. We don't need you to be there anymore. So these are the types of energies that we might be seeing in the rest of October into November. I will come back and do some more because it's interesting. Like I will definitely be doing a 2021 soon, just to sort of talk about what we can expect, because there's some more interesting transits that will be coming. We will have some big transits coming with Saturn moving out of the 60. It's in the 61 now, but it will be moving out of the 60, and it'll be moving into gate 41, and that will be a brand new, if you look at the whole mandala of human design, that's a brand new cycle, you could say. So based on that, we go from limitation to 41, which is expansion of ideas, dreams into reality. But again, it's about being a visionary or a dreamer. So I will talk about that in the future. So basically, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually had a lot of fun talking about the transits. I haven't done that for a while, and I will be back again soon with some more videos. I've got a big video I'm working on right now that I'm really excited about to share with you. And thanks for being here, and I hope everybody's well, and take care. Bye for now.